Three, two, one. Welcome back to another edition of the Hip Politics Podcast. It's your boy, your co-host, Cameron Trimble, Mr. Cameron Calvin, a.k.a. Mr. Hip Politics, a.k.a. Mr. 216 to the 202, a.k.a. Mr. Cam the Connector. And today is a very special day. This is going to be another special edition live and direct. We're not in the Hip Politics studios as normal. We're on a really nice rooftop in the middle of downtown D.C. With a super special guest, super duper special guest. We're really honored and thankful to have this brother on. He's not only just a Houston legend and a rap legend, one of the coldest lyricists, quietly one of the best singers, also got one of the best voices in the game. Certified, been in the game for over 20 years. You may know him through his ABN label and network, through all his philanthropic efforts, through his I'm On series. So many different things. I could go on for days and days. But we got my man Trae Tha Truth in the building. Thank you, Trae.
What up, G?
Thank you for joining the Hip Politics Podcast. Thank you, brother.
It's all good.
Well, we have you out here. Thank you. I want to first thank you for the people. Trae came out. We honored him with the MC, the Mobilizing Community Award, at our first annual Hip Politics Awards. We're coming live during Congressional Black Caucus Week. If you'd have heard on last week's episode when we interviewed Ben Branch, one of the orchestrators of the week, you knew this was coming. This is like the Super Bowl of black politics, Super Bowl of black excellence. All the different people from the politics, from business, artists, everybody's coming together here to try to make some change. And we brought Trae out. Trae, like I said, I'm glad we're actually doing this interview today and not yesterday, because I've gotten a chance to talk to you, kick with you, see how you move, like see your work, kind of hear your words, get some, and even pick up some gems and some wisdom along the way. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you see the effect that you have on people, how many people are coming up and just showing love. So I want to first say thank you on behalf of the whole entire Hip Politics family for coming out, for coming to D.C., for coming to our awards as we got kicked off. Like I said, you've been really inspiring all the work that you've done. So
it's a blessing to be here, man. I appreciate y'all for having me.
No, thank you. So I know a lot of, and mostly in hip hop, when people get awards or when people get the recognition, it's just about the music, about how big the single is, or how big the song is, or how big the collab is. You got all that, but we really wanted to honor you, and the reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast with Hip Politics, what this platform is built for, is to really merge the worlds of hip hop and politics, but not politics just on getting people elected, but the political power and the social power of change to get people up and active. So even if politics, that word is a dirty word, it's not your thing. You engage in a sort of politics, a people politics, in the sense of you really get the community engaged.
I wouldn't really say it's politics, it's just me and the people. I mean, for people like myself, we work hard to stand for things that we believe in, and even just to stand up and fight for what's right and who we believe in or what we believe in. So more in that aspect, it's just more just being there for the people. The politics, that's never really been my thing. I'm one of them, I just do what I feel at the time. I get up and go. I don't need to sit around and politic and come with ideas. I just kind of move on impulse.
I got you. Well, I think to that, something that you moved just because I know there was a need, and something I know you're still connected to, your work last year after the devastating the hurricanes that hit and that really flooded your hometown. I got family out in Houston. My uncle, he sent us all a picture of him in his own he had a little canoe sitting in his driveway with the water above his pickup truck, but he was like, hey, I'm all right, I'm okay. But while a lot of the notoriety went to some other different celebs that were bringing in money, you were bringing in not just money, but people, resources, and really staying in there. Can you talk about your efforts with the Hurricane Harvey relief?
It's not just my efforts. It's always, I let people know, me and my partner, Mr. Rogers, we formed a relief gang, and from there it's just been, a lot of our team that just stood up. We've given out over $1 million, probably $1.5 million worth of supplies, money. Like, we've done all kind of stuff. We helped Puerto Rico. Since the hurricane, I was in the Carolinas after theirs. I went and helped Florida after theirs. So, we get up and do what needs to be done, man. But it's still so much more work to do. And in Houston alone, people worried about the hurricane. We worried about just rain, because the rain is what really do the damage. It can rain for a certain amount of hours in Houston, and certain parts of town flooded.
Because you guys are like not used to that amount of water and rain, and the city not set up like that. I didn't know it was that bad.
I think we got to get new drainage because water has nowhere to go, so it just rises.
What kind of efforts are, in terms of just being supplies? Like, what have you been doing? I know since that has happened with the relief gang, or just on your own efforts. Like, what can you speak a little bit more about what these communities need, so we can use that platform to kind of send more supplies and help their way?
Help and hope. Help, because there's so many people that need assistance, and some people even since then that just dropped everything and decide to start over, and that's a lot of starting over when your whole life you built up to get to where you were, and they be stripped of it all. Now you have to start over. It's like sometimes people have no direction, no even sense of hope. So you have to give them hope to know that there's people out there that care, and then you have to give them the help by just assisting, whether it may be mentally, physically, not always financially, just in any type way.
Wow, help and hope. Okay. With your last thing on the relief gang, is that something that just happened last year that you started, or did with?
No, it's been a couple of years since the hurricane hit. People keep saying last year, yeah. But relief gang is under my nonprofit Angel by Nature, and that's been around forever. So relief gang is a branch off of that. So it's one of the subs that's within, and it's not going nowhere. We do stuff constantly all the time.
Like I said, we've been talking. I definitely want to find ways for us to work and partner on that. You got a new album coming out. Well, a new album that is out, Exhale. I've been rocking with it for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I was telling you, get up and get it.
I got to
get it. Like, I got to get it. And then Not in the Mood. Those are at least two personal ones I've been feeling. And then I just seen you were at the Texas party during Congressional Black Caucus week, doing the sliding record, and that got a real West Coast bounce.
Yeah.
But this whole project, I noticed, no features. I mean, you the feature king, and
yeah, I just where I was at mentally and everything I was going through, I felt like nobody could tell my story better than me, and it was just something that was overdue. A lot of fans always begged for them to be able to just hear me, and I just never really paid attention to it. And I decided to get out and do it now, and it's even more crazy because people receiving it more than they receive some of my other stuff. Like, it excites them. So, I don't know if I'm going to forever not do features, but this is definitely the moment to let them have me by themselves.
But I will say this, because you sing a lot on the album too.
Yeah.
On different hooks, bridges, and I kept having to check the notes, like title and Spotify. You can go and see who's all the writers, because you got a lot of different tones on there. That I was like, you sure you ain't got somebody in the
Yeah,
but you kind of hitting all type of notes and stuff. Talk about your singing.
I don't know. My mother used to sing, so originally I was always able to sing, but I can really rap, so I love rap. A lot of people, when I first came out, I was doing melodic stuff. That's what people knew me as, and they just used to always ask, and I strayed away from it. So with this project, I actually kind of brought them back too. It's what they need, and then a lot of music these days is melodic, and they don't really know. Like, we're one of the few who originated doing that.
And I would say your appearance and persona, probably people wouldn't necessarily immediately think that. That's what I said. Even
my ass off.
Yeah, you can, because like I said, the moment I got on there, I was like, "You sure this don't got a feature? Maybe an uncredited feature?" And it's like, "No, this is all me." Yeah. I know there was one song, and this is something that's been in your catalog. It's probably one of the biggest things you're known for in the game. I was looking forward to, so I'm hoping it's coming on the next project. I'm on 4.0. Is that coming
The
anytime
series
soon?
not over, but when I do them, if you pay attention, they don't really even go on albums. I just do them to do them.
No, they just pop up, and then they'll be like the last song on an album or something.
Sometimes,
I guess. Yeah,
but
something
sometimes
like
I just put it out.
that. Yeah.
But it'll be around sooner than you know.
Okay. All right. That's something I know the people. I know me as a fan, and I know people as a fans are really interested in. Because you put. I heard you mention on another interview one of your I'm on 2.0. That was one of the first songs that you got Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole on that wasn't one of their individual songs.
Yeah.
Like, so it shows the power of your network, your reach, your relationships.
Yeah, most of the people I do music with is considered family to me. You know, so I got real strong relationships with a lot of them. Where music is kind of the least of our relationship.
So. I got it. Yeah, and you don't. Well, we can't wait. I know you said I've heard you mentioned a couple times you're sitting on a lot of unreleased music. So whether if you ever decide to 2,000 records, wow, it's built up over time.
Last few years.
Wow. Well, hopefully you let us reach into the vault. I know you constantly making new and striving to do new stuff, but let's believe me. I know the fans want to hear some of that. I wanted to move on to real quick to we talked about some of your relief efforts, talked about your relief gang, talked about the new album, but I would say I know you from two things. I know you from when I first saw you with Wayne and Ross, and then I heard about Trae Tha. I heard about Trae Tha first. Like I said, I used to work in Dallas, and the news had gotten up there. I mean, I just keep my ears to the street on anything hip hop, and then I just seen every artist talk about it. I seen they mention it on the Breakfast Club for years. I seen different whenever you mentioned or different Houston people like, oh, you know, artists like Trae Tha Truth doing Trae Tha. Can you? You had your another annual Trae Tha again this year. This was your 11th, I believe.
Yeah. It's always gonna be Trae Tha. Not that I'm gonna have it again. It's gonna happen regardless, with or without me. So yeah.
What sparked that first Trae Tha?
The first Trae Tha, it was given to me by the city. You know, Kathy Griffin ended up reaching out to me at an event, and when Kathy reached out to me, she asked me about what I think about getting my own day for all the stuff I did. You know, at that time I was like, yeah, right, you know. And she ended up reaching back out shortly after, like, hey, these are the options of days we got. What day you think? And at that time it's like, it seemed like these people for real. And I ended up picking one of the dates they gave me that was the closest to my son, the Nico. It was the day before his birthday. And
that's in July?
Yeah, in July. And we ended up doing it. They had a whole ceremony, and what happened on the first Trae Tha is once everybody found out I had a holiday, the whole hood was just out. We was at Sharpstown Mall, and as we were out at Sharpstown Mall, it was like a big celebration block party. And then from that point on, it was just like, man, we can continue doing that, but at the same time, I want to make sure I take care of people and take care of the kids and just make it more of like a festival.
So that means your philanthropy and all the work you did even precedes the 11 years. Cause
oh no, way before that.
Yeah.
If you go look back at Hurricane Ike and all that, you can look in pictures with National Guard and you'll see me all in there.
Oh wow.
So I go way back, way beyond that.
Yeah, and then I know, kind of fast forward to 11 years, I heard about this most recent Trae Tha. You brought some exotic animals, still giving out tons
giraffes, kangaroos.
Tons of artists, tons of supplies to the students.
Everything, yeah. I have a lot of stuff going on.
Like a carnival in the hood, almost.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
stuff
now,
that kids not able to experience all the time.
Yeah, that's dope. And then now I'm hearing you have a Trae Tha is expanded beyond Texas. We going all the way up to the Midwest, north up in Milwaukee. Tell us about that.
I got my own day in Milwaukee, which is September 4th. That was unexpected. You know, I got a lot of ties to Milwaukee, but it was just unexpected. But it's a blessing, and you know, the amazing and good part is you get your own day. The flip side of it is, there's more work to do. Yeah.
It is. It's the work never stops, but with your work ethic, like I said, I've been able to see it firsthand over the last couple days. We see we see the work and we see the output on being able to put together something like a trade that takes teams of people all the day, and for you to be the spearhead in that and being able to pull it off for 11 years at the level that you're doing, we salute you. Like I said, it was one of the two things that I personally knew you from, and then when we hit politics, when we sat around and said, like, all right, who can we honor that's really doing work in hip-hop, that's really doing stuff like in the community, not just stuff for photo ops and so forth, and who's certified. It's like everybody knows and speaks to you about that. Like I would almost say I hear about you, about Trae and all your work, as much as I hear about you in the music.
Yeah, definitely. They're in their own worlds together.
No, yeah, I mean, and I think you have a very unique lane that allows for you to kind of literally touch every type of person, touch all sides of the game.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
sure.
Well, I wanted to kind of close out. We normally ask all our guests one of the two things: either what's your top 5 in terms of top 5 hip hop dead or alive, or who the top 5 people in hip hop or in general who inspire you. So I don't want to put you in a place to say who's
I'll
what.
just go to top 5 that inspire me.
You. Mm-hmm.
My kids first and foremost.
I want to know you've had Baby Truth. I've seen her on your press run, stealing all the shine.
Yeah, she's supposed to. My kids. And I don't want to do 5 people. We'll do 5 things.
Okay.
So my kids, you can classify as 1 as a whole. God definitely is 2. I think my life experiences, whether good or bad, it inspired me regardless to keep going and give me a different type of drive, whether it may be good or bad. The odds is my 4th.
The odds.
Because going up against a lot of situations that I was up against and been through, most people wouldn't make it, and they tap out at any given moment. But the fact that I didn't, the odds only inspired a different type of anger, different type of channels, different type of energy in me to make me go out swinging in all ways. So you know what I'm saying? That definitely inspired me to become more greater, to elevate, to always just never settle or cease in those situations. And the other things that inspire me, fifthly, is probably my losses. Everything that I've lost, it inspires me, because some of them you can't, some as far as the physical form, you can't always get things back. But the losses inspire me to make sure, as far as in the human form, that I go out and make them proud and don't let them down and continue what I'm supposed to do. And as far as my losses of anything that I lost that wasn't in human form, it inspired me to get out there and go harder, because I'm going to get that back times 10. So, yeah.
So those are, wow.
My 5 inspirations, 5 things that inspire me, put it like that.
Keep going and keep going as hard as you've been going. Like I said, it's something hopefully can I share this, the fact that you don't have a team like that, or you work with people.
Yeah, I mean, I got my own inner circle, but as far as when it comes to business, doing what I do, I get out there and I do everything on my own. I basically manage myself. I basically try and PR myself. I do everything, man, and it works. Because people would think I have a machine behind me, when all the while it's just me answering my phone, doing what I need to do.
And those 5 inspirations you just gave us, like that's that fuel that's lighting you and keeping you going as hard as you're going.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you, man. Like I said, it's been a pleasure these last couple of days to get to work with you, get to see how you move, just hearing all the inspiration you've brought, like being out here for Congressional Black Caucus annual legislative conference. I know hopefully you felt the love and you've kind of seen just the respect that you have in a whole different world that you might not deal with as much in terms of the political world. We've connected with several different artists, and like I said, we've been truly humbled and inspired by you, but then humbled to have you and have you out here in D.C.
I appreciate y'all, man. Much love.
No, I appreciate it. So, unfortunately, this was a episode we had to do without my co-host, the mayor of Capitol Hill, Mike McQuarrie. Shout out to him. We want to shout out again the first annual Hip Politics Awards. You're going to see video and photos and a recap of that coming very soon. We want to thank our special guest, hip-hop legend and activist, community helper, leader of the Angel by Nature Network, Relief Gang, new album Exhale out right now, Trae Tha Truth. We want to thank you, brother. Thank you for having us out here. We appreciate it. This has been another episode of Hip Politics Podcast, and we out. Peace.